Hey, my Glow Squad. Welcome back to Jenny's Lifestyle, where we embrace beauty, fashion, weight loss, and self-care with confidence. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join the squad. And if you're not, welcome back. It's the start of a new blog, and I wanted to come on and share my weight loss journey with you guys. A lot of you have had so many questions about my journey and how I got here. So I am going to take you guys all the way back into my younger years so that you will understand from start to finish. Okay, so get you some popcorn, get you something to drink, and let's dive into it. So, as you guys know, I did a whole weight loss transformation. This journey is not easy. It has never been easy. I can't even explain how hard this journey has been. I never thought that I could even get here, but I did by the grace of God. And so I want to share my journey with you guys because it may help someone that is going through the same thing that I'm going through, that has faced a lot of the things that I have faced, or they may be just on their journey now, and this video will encourage them. So I want to give you guys my start to finish. So growing up, I have never been a plus size girl. I've always been a small frame young girl. I never really weighed probably over 100 pounds when I was in school, middle school, elementary, all the way through high school, even through my college years. Part of my college years, I still was running about 105 pounds or something like that. I really didn't start gaining weight until I got pregnant toward the middle of my college years. And that's when I started to see some weight gain because, I'm carrying a baby, I'm feeding for two. And so, of course, you're going to have some weight gain there. So between that time, in a 2-year span from being pregnant, having the child, and just living life within that 2 years, I gained a total of about 75 pounds. So that put me at 175 pounds right out of college. So that was the start of my weight gain. So during that time, my parents then wanted me to be on the medication for birth control. So I started that medication, and I was on that medication for quite a while. And then after that, I was introduced to another form of birth control called Depo-Provera. So I started taking the Depo-Provera, which was an injection form, and you only have to take it, I think, like every so many months, 3 months, I believe. So I stayed on that for many years, and I noticed over the time I was constantly gaining weight, and it was continuously just piling on. I ended up having to get off of the shot in my later years because I didn't understand why I was gaining so much weight. But after doing more research and understanding what was in that medication that was causing me to have so much weight gain, then I had to get off of it, and it was due to the steroids and the medication. So by then, I had gained from that 175 all the way up to probably about 240 pounds. But since the medication was still in my system, I was still gaining. So by the time that medication wore out of my system and being off of it for over a year, after that, I had gotten up to 317 pounds. Yes, you wouldn't believe that, but it is true. I will insert a clip here and show you guys exactly what I looked like at that 317. I know I don't look like that picture, but that picture is me. And I will also try to add other clips in this video to kind of give you an idea of what I used to look like as well. So in the meantime, just was a struggle. I tried to get on different weight management programs. None of them really worked. You kind of do the yo-yo dieting. You'll lose a little bit, you'll gain a little bit, you'll lose a little bit. just back and forth. I also worked out. Like I said, it worked a little bit, but if you don't keep it up, then you're going to just gain the weight back. And the way I was working and still trying to go to school at that time, it was just difficult for me to maintain. So later on in life, I just kind of had to live with it. And then later on, I picked up again and started doing more research into maybe thinking about having maybe a weight loss surgery. That was another option. So I wanted to research that some more. So I spoke with different doctors and different nurses, nurse practitioners to try to, get an understanding of the whole weight loss surgery. I went through the evaluation on it and just kind of trying to understand and see if that was really the route that I wanted to take for is doing this whole weight loss journey thing. So after that, I discovered that I could have the weight loss surgery done in a different country. I also looked at having the weight loss surgery here in the States with my insurance. But after learning how these insurance companies do you when you're wanting to have weight loss surgery, something to better your life and for you to be able to live longer, healthier life, they send you through all these different hula hoops to try to get approved. You have to have a psychic evaluation done. You have to go through a 6-month program. You have to do a whole weight loss management. They want you to lose anywhere from 50 to 100 pounds before they will even consider you for these surgeries. And so it's just a lot. And not on top of that, the cost is quite a lot. So I just wanted to look at some other avenues as far as paying cash. Would it be much more cost efficient if I just pay cash for it and bypass all these hurdles over here that I'm up against? And so after doing the research, I discovered that they were doing the weight loss surgeries in Mexico. So I got with one of those travel weight loss management programs that they have, got with them, got more information. She gave me the whole rundown of everything that I would need to have done, the cost and everything. They help you with your airline flight. They provide the hotel and the transportation to and from the hotel over to the clinic and to the hospital where you will be taken to do your surgery. But during that time, it was like a group. We all come in from different states and we meet up there. And guys, I met so many wonderful people during that time when I finally decided to go over and have that surgery done. So what I did in the meantime, I went ahead and booked everything. Okay, so after booking everything, I still continued to do my research because I wasn't for sure which type of surgery I wanted to have done. There was 3 different options that I was looking at. There's probably many more, but the 3 that I was aiming for was either the gastric bypass, the vertical sleeve, or the lap band. So out of all 3 of those, I went ahead and chose the vertical sleeve, and that's where they take out the 80% of your stomach and then leave the other portion of your stomach shaped like a banana peel. And at that time, that was the one that I chose. So probably a few months later, I caught the flight, went on over and checked I flew into San Diego. Let me back up. I flew into San Diego. The tourism bus picked me up from the airport and then drove me over to the hotel. It was very nice, very clean. So I stayed there overnight. The next day, the tourism bus picked me back up and took me over to the clinic. And that's where I had all of the medical procedures done for us, my lab work, my weigh-ins, you name it, everything they do in the States, they did it over here as well. And if you're not a fit, then, they just can't, do the surgery until you become eligible to be able to take the surgery. But everything worked out for me. I didn't have to wait or anything. So then the next day I was prepped and I went into surgery. The surgery was successful. I stayed there in Tijuana, Mexico for couple of days, I say about 3 days, until I was healed enough to be able to catch my flight to fly back home. And so that's what I did. My recovery at home, I recovered for about 2 or 3 weeks. They sent me home with medication, instructions. They also called me, did all of my checkup appointments through the phone. They also helped me to find a local provider in my state that would help with the aftercare. I was very happy about that. Everything was lovely. The hospital was very clean. The clinics was very clean. I had no issues with anything. It was a nice trip over, a nice trip back. I even got a chance to sightsee a couple of things before I went into surgery. We kind of went on a little tour over Mexico. So that was really nice. I really enjoyed that. So then after that, I made it home and started my weight loss journey at that time. For the first couple of weeks, I was on a liquid diet where I could only, just drink clear liquids. So I think I did that diet for about 2 weeks, and then I progressed up to more thicker liquids like protein shakes and things like that. So I started on that section of the diet. I think I stayed on that one for another 2 weeks. And then from there, I worked my way up to the soft foods, stayed on that a couple of weeks. And then after that, I was able to eat solid foods. But at that time, I was only able to eat a little bit because my pouch then was about the size of a 6-month-old baby. So I was eating very little, and that is what helped me to lose the weight. Now, before I went over there, my weight was about 280 something. After the weight loss surgery, after I'll say about a year passed, I had gotten down to 195 pounds. So that was a good amount of weight loss. And so I maintained that for about 3 years. And then after that, my pouch started to stretch a little bit. So because I started kind of gaining a little weight that concerned me. So I reached out to my doctor over in Mexico and spoke with him. And he said, well, it may be time for you to have a revision done to where we can go back in and tighten your pouch a little bit more. But after speaking to him, I also mentioned, I said, well, what if we look at other options? What about having a lap band put over the top of the sleeve? Would that work? And he says, yes, that is another avenue. I said, the reason that I am questioning this is because I did some research, because you have more control of your restriction. It's just saline that you're feeling in the band, and you can release it, add more when you want to be more restricted, take out some when you don't want the restriction. And I said, and I would have more control than I would with having a revision of the sleeve. And he said, yeah, that would be another option. He said, we can look into that. And I said, well, let me go back and think about it some more, and then I'll come back. In 2010, I made another decision to move forward on having the lap band put over the sleeve. And by then, I had went from 195 and had gained 40 pounds. And so I went back over to Mexico, had the revision done, had the lap band put in, and brought my weight back down to 195. And then I was more in control at that time. But when you have the lap band, you have to understand, with having surgeries that needs maintenance, and you're having that type of surgery in a different country, when you go to the States, then you're going to have complications with finding a doctor that wants to even touch you. So I had to do research on finding a physician that would be willing to do my fills. So I did find a person in San Antonio, Texas. So I did the research there, and I drove in and drove over to San Antonio whenever it was time for me to have a fill, or I wanted to get tightened or loosened at any time. So I did that a couple of times, but I think around the third or the fourth time, and just to remind you guys, by then I had already had this band from 2010 to 2014. So when she did that fourth fill, because I didn't have to have many fills because I didn't need that much restriction because I had already had a lot of restriction from the vertical sleeve. So when she did this fourth fill, she noticed that there was a leakage in my band. And so that concerned her. And she said, normally when that happens, that means that it could be possibly erosion about to happen or is happening. So she said that I want to go in and look further to make sure that that's not what we're seeing. And so later on, I went ahead and just went to my doctor that was closer to me, instead of having to drive back over there. And so long behold, my band had gone bad. So then it threw me into the hospital and I had to have it taken out. So I lost my band in the year 18, I believe. Yes, 2018, because it had started to erode in 14, but I had all the saline taken out and I kept it in. So in 2018 is when I end up having it taken out toward the end of 2018. It went bad in 2014 and I just had all the saline taken out of it and I just kept it in place until I could make the decision on having it completely taken out. And I went ahead and did that. By then I had started having a little bit of stomach pains. Wasn't really that bad, but I figured, okay, well, it's time to go ahead and have it removed. I was very saddened by it because that's a lot of money that I had paid to have that done. It worked very well. And I felt like I didn't have any issues until time to get it filled again. But I did have to have it removed. And then after it was removed, it caused another problem. So then it caused me to end up having what you call a bowel obstructomy done because my doctor did not like the flow of my bowels. And it was from having the lap band in, I guess, for so long. So I had that repaired. And so it landed me in the hospital for 3 months. I went in at the end of October of 2018. I did not come out until January of 2019 of the next year. So it was a long process going through that. And my doctor specifically told me, he said, you won't get another band. He said, you will have to learn to lose weight on your own. He said, we're not going through any more surgeries. You've had enough. He said, you have some restriction with your gastric sleeve. He said, so make that do. And so I ended up having to make that do. And I just been living without it. So after that, of course, he said, you need to watch what you eat and just try to maintain that. I tried to do, but the weight start creeping back on slowly on up. And I got up from 195. I gained from 195 all the way up to 243 pounds. Okay. And that's where I stayed at 243 pounds. Since then, I was back to the same thing, trying to fight and get the weight off, doing all these fat diets, working out, just doing all the things again, trying to get the weight off. And then little did we know, 22 is when I discovered this weight loss medication that had hit the market. Of course, there's a whole lot of other ones that had come out, but this one here was the one that really caught my eye the most. So I went to my doctor and inquired about it. I had tried another one before this one, liraglutide or something like that. I tried that one for a little while. My doctor put me on that one, but I lost about 30 pounds on that one, but it just made me feel really weird with headaches and stuff. So I discontinued that. And so I didn't get on weight loss injectables after that. But then they came out with this new one, not Ozempic. I did know about Ozempic, but you had to be a diabetic. And at the time, I wasn't aware that I was diabetic or borderline diabetic. So I couldn't get that. But then I guess after talking to the doctor about this new one that come out, and when she did my labs, it showed that I was borderline diabetic. So she said, then you're going to qualify now. So the new medication came out, Mounjaro, and she did the research for me on it. I did my research, and the next thing you know, she went ahead and prescribed it. And that's where my journey started in 22 of October. And I've been on this journey up until today. And guys, I started at 243 pounds starting Mounjaro. And today I stand 5'6" in height, weighing 138 pounds. That is how far Mounjaro took me to this point. Absolutely game changer. After all the things that I have been through, all the weight loss surgeries that I've gone through trying to lose weight, all the fad diets that I have done trying to lose weight, and this one medication not only saved my life, but it corrected my life, and it allowed me to be more healthier. It's just unbelievable how well this medication worked for me. All I did was let the medication work for me. I changed my diet and started working out. I lost between 86, 89 pounds in 10 months. I had met my goal before I went on my vacation cruise in December of 23. That is when I met my goal. And so it's been a journey, but it's been a good journey. Okay. Well, anyway, guys, that has been my entire journey from start to now. And like I told you guys before, I am making this video to help someone that is still struggling, or even if you are one that is wanting to start this journey. It won't be easy. I can definitely tell you that. I have lived it. I've done it, and I can tell you about it. It takes a lot of focus, a lot of hard work, but it can be done. But one thing I want you guys to definitely understand, when you take this medication, remember, it's just a tool. It's not going to do all the work for you. So if you sit up here and you take that medication and you don't make any changes, then you're not going to see any changes. You have to change with the medication. So if you're taking the medication, you need to change your diet, change your thinking, change all the ways that you've been doing, and work out. You don't have to do any hardcore working out. It doesn't take that, because it didn't take it from me. All I did was walk. I walked down a whole treadmill, tore up a whole treadmill, and it was brand new when I bought it. But that's how much I walked on it. Tore it up, threw it out, replaced it with another one, and now I'm still using that one. So it can be done. I didn't do any strength training, and I know I should have, but I didn't do any strength training at all. But I'm going to implement it now to try to tighten up some of the loose skin that I deal with today. But this can be done, but you have to have the mindset, and you have to want to make the change. And that is what I will leave with you guys on today. It has been so good to come on and make this video for you guys. It's been a long time coming video that I've needed to make, and I finally got it out here. If you guys have any questions or concerns, furthering more questions into my journey, please feel free to leave the comments below. I will periodically check those and answer back as soon as I can. But I want you guys to save this video, upload it, relook at it as many times as possible, or that you need to help it to encourage you, because it worked for me. And if it works for me, it will work for you. Okay, guys, this is coming up to the end of this video. I hope it was very educational. I hope it was very helpful. I hope you're able to take something away from this video. But again, if you guys have any other suggestions that you want to leave in the comments, or if there's any other weight loss videos that you would like for me to make, giving you more details into my journey, I would be more than happy to make another video for you guys and giving you more details. But I will leave it at this, and I will come back with another video, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye now.